Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm going to share with you a waterfall card, and it basically is a single piece of card, but this is how it kind of works. A great card, I think, for a guy. This one actually I designed for a fella. I also did a Halloween one, which is heaps of fun as well. And then I also did one for this one was for one of my granddaughters, and again I thought that she would really love that. And I've used the animal outing stamp set, and the mechanism for doing this, the way of doing this, is the same for all of these cards, but I'm going to be focusing on this one. And I've used the Rooted in Nature stamp set, so I figured that this one will be good for a guy. Now, because this video is how to sort of make up the card itself, I have done some stamping ahead of time, and my colours that I've used are Fresh Fig, Timeless Tide, and then a little bit of Night of Navy, just to give some contrast. And all those colours have been lifted out of this piece of designer series paper, the name of which escapes me at the moment, but it will be on my blog. So I'm gonna give you some measurements as I'm working along. So the designer series paper is 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm just going to adhere that onto a quarter sheet, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 of the Fresh Fig. And I prefer to use the multi-purpose liquid glue, but you can use whatever you like. And then with my 3/4 inch punch, I'm just going to notch out a tiny little piece here, and that gives me a little finger hole. So then I have this strip. Now this strip is 4 1/4 by 1 inch, and this is going to hold the waterfall part together. So I'm just going to lay it on my piercing mat, and it's not critical how far that you place this up from the bottom, but I'm going to put it, I guess it's probably about 1 inch, and then with my piercing tool I'm just going to push through here and here like that, and I'm going to use a couple of brads, and the little devils have escaped. Where are they? Well, they were here. Oh, here they are. And I'm just going to push those through like that, and then lift this out, flip it over, and then I'm just going to open them up. And to get them nice and flat, I'm going to use my bone folder just to press it firmly down. Open this one up here and then press it firmly down. So that's ready for the next stage in a moment. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this strip. Now it's 11 by 2, and I've scored it at 2 inches, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, and 4 1/4 there. And so I'm going to put in the folds, and to make sure that I get a nice smooth flow on my waterfall, when I put my folds in, I'm going to make sure that these edges are well and truly lined up. So I'm going to put them in with a bone folder, and then the next one, again making sure that my pieces are well lined up. Okay, so that's that part there. And then I have my waterfall pieces. So each of these is on a 2 by 2 piece of Night of Navy, and 1 7/8 squares that I've stamped with the Rooted in Nature stamp set. And all I'm going to do is to add a little adhesive and on the back, and then just line it up there, and then making sure it's the right way round. So if the top's at the top, I'm going to put a little bit of the double-sided tear and tape, and I'm just putting that at the top. So those are my pieces there. So now I'm going to take the strip, and we're going to start on the bottom fold, and you're going to start with the last one first. So I'm going to just remove the double-sided, and you're going to line this cut edge up with this fold like that and press firmly. Now, the reason I'm using double-sided tape is that it allows this mechanism to, well, it gives it strength, because if you'd use snail, then it might fall apart, because you're asking an awful lot of the snail. So here we go. Now I've based my card on something, on a technique I saw from Dawn Griffin, so I appreciate her sharing her card with us. And I think this is my final one. There we go. Just press everything down firmly, and then I'm just going to take a 1/8 inch punch, and about halfway on the long side I'm going to punch a hole, and I'm going to put a piece of this twine, and this is a lovely twine for fellas. Now this is going to start being troublesome. It's actually called, when I can find it, braided linen trim, and we got 10 yards on that bolt, and as you can see, I've very nearly used all of it. So I'm going to bring my piece of trim up through here. There we go. Just needed a little persuasion, and hook it through itself like that, and that gives me my nice little pulley. Right, so the next thing is I'm going to bring this piece back down, and I'm going to thread this through, and I'm going to center up my little hole with my twine with the very bottom of my designer series paper here. And then we're going to go back and get some more tear and tape, and I'm placing it on the top of the band that goes horizontally like that. It doesn't want to be too long, because you don't want it to peer out from either side of this strip. I'm just going to take the tape off, and now I'm going to use my fingers to hold everything firmly in place like this, and then I'm just going to let this fall. I'm not going to line it up with anything. I'm just going to let it fall in on itself like that. Press firmly like that, and then I'm just, if I pull, then everything is working for me. Isn't that neat? I love this idea. So a little bit more decoration. I'm going to use the gold metallic pearls, because I've used gold brad, so I'm just going to pop a couple on here. Let's see, did I put any? Oh yes, I put one in the middle of that one inside. I think that was it. Yep. Now, a word of caution. You want to be very careful about not using the dimensionals on anything, because I found that it will snag on the pulling mechanism. So that's why I've used just a plain adhesive. And then we've got these cute little candle charms. So they've got a little bit of double-sided tape on the back. So I'm going to ease that off like that. Oops, now it's being troublesome. There we go. And then I'm just going to pop it down on here. And there, I think I have a really lovely birthday card, and I've stamped my envelope up as usual. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this particular card. There's a link at the bottom of this video that will take you to my online store where you can get the supplies. And I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, and bye for now.